Hi, I'm Amanda from Dixie Delights, and for today's Daily Delight, I'm so excited to have Mother here to show us how to make tissue paper tassels. We have used these for all sorts of parties and they are so cute, and then I've brought the extras home and used them as festive home decor. So this is a quick and easy project that I really think you'll love.
Supplies needed to make the tissue paper tassels. First, get a package of tissue paper. This is the the gold comes in 5 sheets to a pack. The regular paper comes in typically 8 sheets to a pack.
And that makes one tassel?
No, that would make a tassel, 1 sheet per each tassel.
Okay.
So out of this package of 5 sheets, you would get 5 tassels.
Great.
Then you need scissors, and of course I'm asked to use Amanda's real fancy scissors. I don't quite look this fancy. And then these are extras, which Amanda laughed at, but I use the thread to help tie the tassel together at the top, and I use this to form the little loop.
Is that a chopstick?
This is a chopstick. Her daddy's always getting on to me for finding alternative uses for instruments, but I use this thick part of the chopstick to form the top part of the tassel.
Great. Okay, so thread, scissors, tissue paper, and don't forget your chopstick. With that, we'll get started.
The first step in making the paper tissue tassel is that you take 1 sheet of the paper in the package and you fold it in half. Then you fold it in half again, and you fold it in half a 3rd time. So you end up with a folded piece of tissue that looks like this. Try to smooth out the edges, crease it a little bit. And this is the folded piece at the top, and the individual pieces are at the bottom. Step number 2, you take your paper with the folded pieces at the top and you hold it, and you take your scissors and you're going to cut through the fold at the edge, at the end, almost to the top. Leave about 1 inch at the top that you don't cut. So now all of the pieces of tissue on this end are all single. They're not attached. Then you flip it over and you do the same thing with the tissue paper on this side. You find the fold, you put your scissors in there, and you just cut up the edge till you get 1 inch before the top, just like you did on the other side. And now you have your tissue paper with all the folds cut so they're not connected except at the top. Step 3, you're going to cut strips into the tissue paper. So hold it firmly. I always start on one edge or the other, and you just cut strips going up.
About how far apart do you make each strip?
I would do 1 inch or maybe less than 1 inch, and I again cut up to 1 inch to the top. And you see, you can make your strips thinner or wider, but you end up with this. I cut my tissue paper into the strips, and I'm going to unfold it like this. I could lay it this way so it's flat, and then I use my chopstick. Another way I use it, this is the hard part, separating, opening up the tissue paper. I do it like this, and you see how nicely it works? So here we are. Now we're ready for our next step. Now this is the folding. Some people call this rolling, but I found you can't really roll it, you have to fold it. Now, this is key. When you fold it, as you fold it, go down the strip to straighten it out. If you don't, if you just roll it or fold it all the way down and don't look at your strips, they end up a tangled mess. All right, now see, I have probably 1 more roll to go. So here, I take this big roll, it's kind of wide, and I roll it, I do little tiny folds in it. Probably did 3 folds. I have folded the strip all the way down. I use this, the thick end of it, and I fold it down on the chopstick. And I make sure I have the strips pretty much even at the bottom. And I just kind of dent it in And try to see what I'm doing, forming it a little bit. It's real thick. You can't pinch it much, but right down here, I try to pinch it more at the bottom because that's where I'm going to tie my thread to hold it together. Okay, this is the last part. I cut off a piece of thread. I use thread. I just like it. I happen to have it, and I kind of hold it like this with my body. If I'm sitting, I'll kind of put it between my legs and hold it with my knees, the tassel, but the main thing is you have to have it held a little bit so you can tie a knot. I wrap the thread around it. I wrap it around about twice, and I tie a knot, and then I tie it one more time. I just clip that off. And you see now it is ready when I make like 30 more of these to string onto. My girls use string, sometimes they use cord or ribbon, whatever you want, but you see you just string them on, and then what we do is we usually tie them on with another little piece of thread if you want them to have them kind of stationary. When you tie them on with the thread, you can still shift them around on the string to get them just where you want when they're hung on the mantle or wherever. That looks pretty good, doesn't it?
Well, thanks, Mom, for coming and showing us how to make these darling tissue tassels. I'll share with you a couple of pictures of them from Cece's Bambi birthday party and where I currently have them hanging in my office over the mirror. I think they make such a cute touch. So that's it for today's Daily Delight. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I hope that you all have a delightful day.